The next step is investigating how various religions define the origin of the universe to identify perspectives of intelligent design. Judeo-Christian Islamic philosophy relies on the book of Genesis in the Old Testament, where there are variable approaches to the origin of the universe. The first describes creation of the heavens and the earth in 6 days, while the second discusses the origin of life within the story of Adam, Eve, and the Garden of Eden. Granted, much liberty about the length of a day must be given. Many are familiar with the opening verses in the book of Genesis.
In the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep, while a wind from God swept over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day.
Psalm 102:25 of the Old Testament offers,
Of old you laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the work of your hands.
One of the astute reviewers of this narrative stated,
I'm reminded that, at least from a developing Catholic view, we would understand that the narrative isn't necessarily declaring the exact evolution of the universe, so much as a story understanding origins, such as original sin. That is certainly a valid perspective, though remains limited to earthly principles, lacking insight to the broader view of how the universe was formed.
Hindu mythology refers to Adya, a female goddess, the original power, and creator of everything from which all senses and elements were formed. Only Adya existed in the beginning as the origin and end to all. The Great Spirit, according to indigenous peoples, encompasses Father Sky, Mother Earth, and the 4 stars supporting the sky as the beginning of creation and ruler of the universe. The Spirit resides within each living thing and survives death by migrating to another living thing. The Earth appears as the center of the universe for each of these philosophies, with humans, often limited to man, as God's agent. The universe was not perceived as more than the heavens and with little knowledge of composition or scale. From the book of Genesis 1:26 through 28.
Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth and every other creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him, male and female, he created them. Then God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth."
The static interpretations of the universe are products of the best and the brightest minds within the times developed. It is certainly reasonable to understand the limitations when only the most rudimentary technology existed. Speaking of technology, we arrive at the discussion of science. I feel tremendous comfort in explaining why within the confines of physics. It all makes perfect sense that all things animate and inanimate, from quarks to supernova, are composed of the same 120 or so elements. Science has clean and clear parameters. Scientific method provides a venerable process for hypothesizing, testing, revising, and repeating the process ad infinitum. Science does not prove. It does not decree dogma. Instead, it provides opportunity to dispute, support, or advance. Science is iterative, where religion is static. Another reviewer disagrees.
It can be argued that religion changes too. This can even be seen in the development and appearance of religious texts from the Torah to the New Testament to the Quran. This is only one instance of the intellectual and social movement of Western religious thought. You can also even see it in Christianity itself, with the Protestant Reformation as an example.
My counterargument is the evolution of Western religions has been the function of identifying new markets with which to promote repackaged versions of Abrahamism. None moved forward our understanding of the universe or its components. I prefer what astronomer Carl Sagan offered during a speech in the mid-1980s.
In science, it often happens that scientists say, "You know, that's a really good argument. My position is mistaken." And then they would actually change their minds, and you never hear that old view from them again. They really do it. It doesn't happen as often as it should, because scientists are human, and change is sometimes painful. But it happens every day. I cannot recall the last time something like that happened in politics or religion.